In this video, we'll be looking at some instances where cops tried to impose their own laws and failed miserably. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the clips. This video actually starts with a cop being cooperative by giving the driver his name and badge number. But then they start arguing because the police drove on the wrong side of the road without their lights on.
Do you think it's acceptable to drive down the wrong way of the road without your lights on?
Yes, we do.
Did you have your lights on?
Don't have to have
No,
lights.
you do have. You're not exempt from the law. You're not exempt from the law. You're not exempt from the law.
You need to have an understanding.
You're not exempt from the law. You're the police. You uphold the law, but you're not exempt from the law. You can't do whatever you want whenever you feel like it.
Policing purpose we can, sir.
But what policing purpose were you driving down the wrong way down the road? What was the police purpose? You were driving the wrong way down the road.
The driver of the car called them out, saying that they're not exempt from the law and that they can't do whatever they want. The cop didn't like being lectured, so he ordered the driver to get out of his car. But instead of doing so, the driver just kept lecturing the cop. He kept saying that they should have had their lights on, but the cop just disagreed with that.
You wouldn't.
No, because you could have injured a pedestrian, you could have killed a cyclist, you could have hit another car. So no, you should have had your lights on. 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 Simple as that. Well, you should have done. You're driving down the wrong.
After a while, another officer arrived and the driver gave free law lessons to him as well. In the end, they had no other choice but to give him his license back and let him go.
Recorder offence complaints.
Yeah, no issues.
So, there's your
Don't take advice. Jog on. See you later.
The following clip is a perfect example of standing up against the cops who try to impose their own laws. The cop approached the guy and asked him to roll down his windows, but the driver refused and said that he could hear him just fine.
I can hear you just fine.
Want me to get you out of the car?
Do I need to get out of the car?
I'm trying to talk to you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Where are you coming from today?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Any alcohol today?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
Then the cop asked him if he had been drinking, but the driver refused to answer that. Then the cop tried to pull some tricks, saying that the guy was holding the line. Then he pulled the good old, "we can do it the easy way or we can do it the hard way" trick. But the guy didn't react to that, and he just asked him if he suspected him of committing a crime.
Am I free to go?
Not yet.
Am I being detained?
You're not being detained.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you haven't been drinking today.
I understand that. Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
What's that?
Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay.
The cop, realizing that he ran into a citizen who knows the law, gave up and let him go. Next up, we have a guy clearly explaining everything to a cop who approached him. He said that he's an independent journalist and that he's just filming in publicly accessible areas.
The woman asked me to wait here for you, and maybe you can explain it to them. So I'm an independent journalist, like I explained to them. I'm in the publicly accessible areas of this building, this public building. I'm not going into restricted areas. I'm not disturbing any business. I'm not doing anything.
He also pointed out that it's his First Amendment right to do so. The cop actually understands everything, but asks for the guy's ID, which the guy refuses to give because he didn't commit any crime.
First Amendment protected activity. Because I'm recording, they don't want me in the building, which I find very ironic because there's a lot of cameras in this building already. But I'm just want to continue about my business and be done and move on with my day, sir.
Then they start arguing. The cop is trying to impose his own laws the whole time, but the guy is too educated about the law to allow that to happen.
Investigation.
Are you going to arrest
Stop
me?
talking.
Are you?
I'm
Sir, I can
conducting an
talk whenever I
investigation.
want.
If you do not want to provide me your name, your date of birth, so that I can document that we had this interaction, you are in a government building creating a disturbance.
No, I'm not.
I have just
You are,
advised
sir.
you. that
Calm
you're
down.
creating
You
a
are.
disturbance. So you have a
In the end, the guy decides that the cop just isn't worth the trouble and leaves. Here we have quite an interesting situation. A guy was being followed by this detective for miles, and when they both pulled over, the guy tried to ask the detective to explain why he was following him. But the detective chose to ignore him and called for backup.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your badge? Let's see your badge. You have to produce that badge to me.
Then the guy asked the detective to identify himself, but he refused to do that as well. They started arguing about what really happened, and each of them had their own version of the story. It should be noted that the detective was acting quite nervous the whole time. He definitely knew that he was in the wrong.
Tell me what your problem is and why you think you have the right to do what you're doing.
What did I do? You stopped.
You flipped your lights on when you got out of the highway and got behind me. I filmed it.
Okay.
I saw it.
Okay, and what did they have to
And
do?
some freaky
What did they
illegal
have to do?
maneuver to get behind me.
Okay, and what
Not
did they have
once,
to do
but
with
twice.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
What did they have to do?
you tell me what that has to do.
After quite a bit of back and forth, the cop showed up and the detective tried to explain everything while still being pretty nervous. In the end, the cop asked the guy for his ID, which he refused. After telling the cop all the reasons why he doesn't have to give him his identification, he just went away.
This guy has
So I cut my
harassed me
lights on and I got out of my car.
from
Hang on.
downtown
Let me finish.
Tulsa
Let me finish.
and has no
So
right
I'm
to
in
even
my
do what
car,
he's doing.
Driving down here, he jumps out, comes back to me, wants to know what my problem is. I said, you're coming to me. That's it. That's where we're at right now. Demanding my name, my badge. I showed him my badge. I said, yeah, what?
I mean, he's got his
basically
lights
where
on
we
trying to
are.
pull me over for no reason
I
whatsoever.
didn't pull you over. You pulled in here. I put behind you.
I've
You got out on me. If I
got the
pulled you
video
over,
of it, man.
I would have been behind your
You know?
car, behind your truck there.
You have some kind of issue that you've
You were driving recklessly down
stalked
the road.
and harassed
Yes.
me
You
since
were driving- Can I
downtown
finish?
Tulsa,
Okay.
where you
No.
don't even have any jurisdiction
Okay.
or right to be doing anything.
Okay.
Flipping your sirens on, all that stuff. Yeah.
Why did I flip my siren on? You almost hit my car.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, you flipped
Okay.
your siren on because you had some kind of problem.
That's
That's
correct,
why you
because
flipped
when
your
you cut
siren.
me off down there.
But did you have a right to do that?
To hit my siren?
Yeah.
I hit my horn or my siren.
Did you
whatever?
have a right to
Yes,
do
I
that?
did.
How?
Yes. Okay.
Do you have
I'm
any
not
jurisdiction
doing
in the area in which you did that?
Did I stop you? Did I stop you?
Well, that's what you've been trying to do the whole time.
You know, if I was going to stop
How
you, I
about that
would've stopped
freaky
you.
maneuver you made off the highway and turned your lights on to get back behind me? I mean, am I being detained? Have I done anything wrong?
I didn't stop you. You approached me.
You were on my ass for the last mile, harassing me. I just want to know what's going on here. I think I have this right here.
No, I
Correct?
want to speak to him right.
About what?
It doesn't matter what.
If it concerns me, it does.
You're free to leave.
And what, are you going to follow me home and what, shoot me?
Yeah. Okay. That's let me see your identification.
I don't have to give you my identification.
Actually, you do.
Am I being detained?
You are now.
For
Let
what?
me see your
For
identification.
what?
Let me see your identification.
For what am I being detained? That's what I'm asking.
I'm trying to talk to this detective.
I thought I had a civil right to not produce my ID unless I have done something wrong, been accused of doing something wrong.
Okay, I can
Or I'm
actually
being
ask for
detained.
your identification.
You can ask,
To prove who you are.
but I can also decline.
Okay, and then
I have that right as a citizen of the United States of America.
Right.
Right.
Let me see your identification.
I decline to let you see my identification.
Okay, then you need to go away.
Okay. I will do so. I will do so.